research study that was just released that says celiac disease quadruples the risk of osteoporosis. So I'm going to read you a little bit about this and share some little anecdotes with you along the way. So Endocrine Web News released a study from Lancaster University School of Health and Medicine that said for individuals who are not otherwise at risk for osteoporosis, having celiac disease puts them more than 4 times at risk of developing progressive bone loss. And it goes on to talk about some research that they did, how they did it. I'll obviously link you back to this study. So though all the participants had no other risk factors for bone loss, the team concluded that having celiac disease boosted the likelihood of osteoporosis by a factor of 4.5, even among otherwise healthy adults. And then another study from Canada's University of Alberta studied the connection between celiac disease and bone health in children. And they said children who did not consume gluten had less than half the amount of vitamin K that they should, as well as too little vitamin D. And vitamin D is what helps us absorb calcium. So its authors suggested that dietary supplementation may improve the nutrition of children with celiac disease, reducing their likelihood of being osteoporotic later in life. Now, those two reports basically assume that not eating gluten led you to a higher risk for developing osteoporosis. But another article called What People with Celiac Disease Need to Know About Osteoporosis from the National Institute of Health, it says that once people with celiac disease switch to a gluten-free diet, their bodies begin to absorb the nutrients that they had been previously missing, and seems to conclude that malabsorption of vitamins due to eating gluten is what puts those with celiac disease at risk. So interesting. So basically we're saying, we have research studies saying that it's people not eating gluten that leads them to higher cases of osteoporosis, and then other conflicting studies saying that people, when they stop eating gluten, when they stop eating gluten, their bones get stronger. So a little anecdote for you. Right before I was diagnosed with celiac disease, I was walking down the street of New York and my foot broke, and that was neat. And when we did the bone density scans, everything, we found out it was related to celiac disease. I kind of had the bone density health of someone in their late 70s. I was really, really at risk for osteoporosis, being 23. And so I was on a gluten-free diet for a year. I went back and got a BMD, which is a bone mineral density test, and I had a completely healthy, normal bone density scan after 1 year of a gluten-free diet. So that's my story. That's, obviously I'm not a doctor, but that's what happened to me. So when I went off of gluten, my bones got much, much stronger. So regardless of gluten or no gluten, here are some tips they list in the article from the National Institute of Health about osteoporosis management strategies. So first is nutrition. Eat a well-balanced diet rich in calcium and vitamin D, which again, vitamin D helps you absorb the calcium. And you need sources of calcium, which include low-fat dairy products, dark green leafy vegetables, and calcium-fortified foods and beverages. And the Institute of Medicine recommends a daily calcium intake of 1,000 milligrams for men and women up to the age of 50. Women over 50 and men over 70 should increase their intake to 1,200 milligrams a day. And again, vitamin D plays an important role in calcium absorption and bone health. Food sources of vitamin D include egg yolks, saltwater fish, and liver. Another thing is exercise. Like muscle, bone is a living tissue that responds to exercise by becoming stronger. The best kind of activity for your bones is weight-bearing exercises that force you to work against gravity. A healthy lifestyle. It says smoking is bad for bones as well as the heart and lungs. And alcohol can also have a negative effect on bone health. Those who drink heavily are more prone to bone loss and fracture because of both poor nutrition and increased risk of falling. Interesting. And finally, there's medications you can take to prevent and treat osteoporosis, and bone density tests. Get a bone mineral density test to measure bone density in various sites of the body. The safe and painless test can detect osteoporosis before a fracture occurs and predict one's chances of fracturing in the future. So that is what I have to say about that. That was an interesting study. I don't know which side of the fence you're on. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. So hope everyone's doing well out there. As always, it's from Have Not to Have and Gluten-Free Dining. Thanks for watching.